We're going to see if Mike can hear me.
I can hear you now.
Oh, there we go. Must have had something to do with the fact that I didn't have it on this setup.
Still sound kind of like muffled though.
Sound muffled. I don't know if there's a lot I can do about it. Maybe do this. If that helps. It definitely helps in my headphones. Anyway, what do you know, Mike? What do you know?
Speak up. I don't know squat.
Yeah, well, it's kind of been like that for us. Hey, welcome everybody to the Livin Life N Style Business Roundtable. We got Mike Foote from I'm gonna screw this up. Summit Lending. Did I get that right?
Summit Lending. Yep.
Score. I'm getting better
nice
at this
work.
Every week. I'm Eric Keenan. I'm with Livin Life N Style Travel, your friendly neighborhood travel agent, and well, we're kicking off the Business Roundtable. So, Mike, what you were saying? What's new in your world? Not much.
No, not a lot. Just kind of steady as she goes, I guess. You know, I mean, I don't know if it's consistently kind of slow, but it's steady, slow and steady. So there's pros and cons of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, mine's not been slow, but it's been steady. It's been a steady stream.
I always feel like it's, in our business, there's a lot of feast or famine, and you get the porpoise thing, we call it. It was like you working on a bunch of stuff, you get really busy, and then you don't market. You can't market, and then
too busy. Yeah.
Then I was like, oh crap, I don't have anything going on, and then next thing you know, you start marketing, you're going out there and humping and getting stuff, and then you get that's always the challenge in this housing and real estate and mortgage business is staying consistent.
I think that's kind of true. I mean, it's also true with travel agents because, if I get busy with a bunch of clients and I'm a one-man show, I have to focus on getting all the stuff done to get their travel arrangements made, and I don't get a chance to go market. And then, turn around. Next thing you know, it's like, oh wow, my leads have dried up, and
right,
I have nothing to do. I have nothing coming in. So
I went to a great seminar in St. Louis last week, and one of the presenters there was an AI. He's an AI guru and talking about using AI for all of these different things. It's for your marketing to speed up I do a monthly newsletter that I had, that it's a burden for me to sit down and write a column for it every month.
Oh, yeah.
And but he shows you how to do that, and TikTok stuff and Instagram and all this stuff. You can automate a whole bunch of that stuff and cut the time out that it takes. So that's going to be maybe my June project. He had like an academy that he has.
Right.
So I have paid the fee for that. So I'm going to be their poster child for Gen X.
I always use a lot of AI. I use AI all the time to help my processes up.
I used to use it to make videos on like Riverside or River something.
Oh, yeah. It's like Spotify or whatever.
And it just then you record your video on there, and then it cuts it up into all these clips, and you can use it to edit, and it puts like captions on there and things. But I don't know. I guess I don't talk very well for like computer stuff because then it was always come back with weird. I guess I have a twang or something. I don't know.
I use Google for like all of my emails. I use it for I have a bi-weekly newsletter that when it's ready to go out, it's pre-written for me, but I take it out of that. Right? I copy and paste that, throw it into my AI, and then I have AI rewrite it with more detail to make it a little bit of a longer column, and then I already have a pre-made prompt That's called my Livin Life N Style brand voice. So that when it types out an email, it types it out in
In
a
your style.
language in a style that I want. Yeah, and
Yeah, that's one of the things I like. I made a there's a thing called HeyGen. Have you seen that? HeyGen, GEN,
mm-mm.
and it's like you make an avatar of yourself. So like I sat and talked for like 30 seconds. You just talk random stuff, how you would talk about anything, and then it takes takes your body, takes my whole background, and then it does like I could type a script, and then it says it as if it's me saying it.
So it's called Hey Gen,
Hey,
GEN,
HEYGEN
like
dot.
.com.
Let me look. It's app.heygen.com.
App.heygen.com. I have to look into that because I've been thinking about
It's pretty
for
wild.
so like yesterday on my daily travel update, I announced that I'm not doing daily travel updates anymore.
Everybody's like, "What?
Yeah,
Did he
exactly.
say something?"
Yeah. So what I did was I went. I'm still going to do my Monday show where I do the top 10 travel deals of the week. So I'm still going to do that, but I'm going to go to focusing on doing more pre-produced videos and releasing them like once a week. So I have
Like
at
you're going to
least,
produce them
yeah,
earlier.
and I'm gonna work on them. I'm gonna work on them at the same time that I normally would be doing my live show, right? So I'm gonna use the same time, but I'm just gonna produce one video and like start releasing them. They'll be more topical that way. They'll be more
Yeah.
informational that way. But I want to have like you're talking about with this heygen.com. I kind of want to have like a digitized version of me that maybe looks a little cooler than me.
If you can make it thinner, I'm gonna trim mine down, put some hair on
A
it.
little more hair, that'd be great. You know,
Yes, and
um,
take the age off.
yeah,
I
exactly. Cooler sunglasses, a better
Yeah,
wardrobe.
maybe
You know,
AI will fix that.
I don't know.
I
We can hope. We can hope.
So that like the other thing this guy talked about was really crazy because now people are switching. Oh, there she is. Don't say it.
Oh, she made it. She
Oh,
made it.
how we doing?
Good.
All better?
Feeling good,
Yeah,
Sandy?
much better.
You
Much
can show
better.
us your scar.
No,
Okay.
I have a picture, but there's nothing wonderful to look at. It's about
No,
this
just kidding.
big.
We were just talking about AI, and so
Yeah,
that was my AI. I didn't say that; it was the AI that
yeah.
did it.
It's AI generated.
So
Let me
this,
let me announce Sandy real quick. So
yeah,
Sandy
yeah.
Reed from Chartwell Realty has now joined the fray. Welcome back. She's been incognito and incapacitated for the last few weeks. Well, yes, last week. Last week was my fault, but
Right.
before that, Sandy was she now has a scar, as Mike alluded to. So yeah, there we are. So how you
They,
doing, Sandy?
how's everything going? You doing all right though?
Yeah, yeah,
Good deal. Good
yeah.
deal.
It was really. I mean, not that it was not an event, but it. I was up and moving, walking, and everything like right after. So
It's wild how they do that.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
deal.
So and it wasn't laparoscopic, so they actually had to do the incision. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Well, at least you're feeling better. We're happy to hear that. So just to bring you up to speed, we started talking about AI. Mike introduced this new app called HeyGen.
HeyGen.com
Yep.
and Sandy, I went to a Tom Ferry event in
Oh yeah.
St. Louis last week, and he had a guy on there named Jason Pan. Man, I can't think of his name. Jason Pantana, and he has an AI. He's an AI guru, and he had this. He was showing us a lot of stuff for agents and mortgage people to do with AI, and one of the things that he said, what was kind of interesting, was that people are moving away from Google, like searching who's the best realtor in Blue Springs, and they're going to the AI, to chat and the Grok and all of those, Perplexity and those places, and they're saying, and they're drilling it down. They're like, who's the best realtor in the Summit with for homes around $400,000, blah, 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 and they
buyers, yeah,
all that stuff. And so he did that on stage, and then he goes, well, and then he asked it a follow up. Why did you pick those people? Because it gave him a list of people. And then he's like, why did you pick those people? And then it gave him a thing, said, here's why I selected those people, such and such. Sandy Reed has high customer reviews and blah, 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 blah. And then he asked it, well, what do I have to do to make my name come up on that list? And then it comes back to him and goes, blah, 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 it tells him this big old thing. And I was like, it was wild. Wow. But people are moving towards that from this just searching, because when you search Google, all it does is give you a list of links, and then you have to go on further. And now the chat stuff says, well, here's what you need, and here's whatever, and it's a whole nother deal. And
Alphabet stock took a beating last week because of search results.
Well, and are they the ones that have the which one do they have?
They have Gemini.
The one that was
Gemini all the time.
Really, because that's the one that came up with all the weird results when people were searching for stuff. And
yeah. No, they had some really bad stuff with their rollouts early in the program. But I use G Suite for all of my stuff, so it's all completely integrated into.
One of the things that he said was that Grok is the only one that is tied to. It's tied to Twitter, X, whatever. So it's the only one that's actually tied to an huge active social media platform. So which means that you're getting all of those billions of input from everybody all over the place. So that's why he kind of recommended using Grok, because for that reason it's active, it's tied to all of this stuff.
Yeah, and I use Grok when I want to go get information, right? I use Gemini to write emails and stuff like that, right? But when I want information, I want to ask it what's going on with this situation, or what's the story behind this post that I've seen.
Right. I use Grok because even real. My freaking emails are my emails say no, just do it. So I don't need a Grok. Shut up. But
yeah, I'm a big fan of the Grok.
But it's pretty wild. The guy put on a 30-minute presentation of all the stuff that he did, and he's got a AI academy, AI marketing academy. So I actually joined that, and so I'm working on that. Like I said, that's going to be my project. So from now on, anything I say, it's not me, it's AI. I did not. If you don't like it, if you do like it, then it was me.
Totally. But yeah, no, I mean, like I was telling you, I announced on my daily travel update yesterday that I'm not going to be doing the daily travel update anymore, because I want to focus on more produced videos and a regular release schedule of once or twice a week. And my first step was going on to Gemini and say, okay, time for a list of topics.
Yeah.
Generated my whole list of topics. And the next step will be I'll pick a few topics out, and I will have it write me a script in my brand voice. And then I'm going to take it over to Google Vids, because I don't know if you know this, Sandy. I know I know you're real familiar with InVideo AI. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Mike, but InVideo AI, you can basically go in, type in a prompt, and it will use stock footage of real stock footage, not like AI generated anything. It's real stock footage of stuff, and it will put together a whole video based on the prompt you put in or the script that you put in. It'll lay out an entire video for you. And it's really good for short videos, Instagram reels, short YouTube videos, things like that. But it comes with a charge. But Google now has their own, and it's already built into the G Suite. So if you're paying for your business Google G Suite, you automatically get access to Google Vids, and it does the exact same thing, Sandy. And not only
So
that,
that guy was talking about. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, it's easier to take that video and add your voice, not just have an AI generated version of your voice, but for me to actually just do the voicing and add it to the video. It's like all much easier and built into that system.
He was talking about Google. They took a beating about Gemini and all of the silly stuff that was coming with it first, but he also said, you have to believe that they're hammering this back in their labs, and so when they do come out with whatever their final, they're gonna kill it. Like, it's gonna be insane when Google finally comes out with their.
Oh, their 2.0 is really good. It's much improved from the messes that they were.
They took a lot of flack for that, all that
for
silly
good
stuff.
reason too.
It was dumb.
Yeah, it was very dumb, but it has gotten a lot better. They just released 2.5 Flash or 2.5 Pro, and they're giving everybody a chance to play around with it, see if they like it, because they're going to end up charging for it. I'm not going to pay them anything extra, but
Right.
But yeah, I'm really happy with the way it's integrating into all of the Google stuff that I need. I can access my documents and create documents for me now. Out here in the next few days to create PowerPoint slides for me. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Cool thing that guy said too was Jason said was like people are freaked out because the machine, and that was my thing. I was like, I still am kind of the weird about that, because I actually there was a thing called M1 something that was a thing for my phone, and it was like a receptionist. And it was really cool. It'll ask you questions and just say like, "Hey, Eric, why'd you call? What do you need today?" And you can say whatever, and then it goes, and then it sends the call to me, or it sends whatever. But what I didn't like was it was recording all my calls. So when I got off the phone, it would say, "Hey, you talk to Sandy Reed, and you're going to call Sandy on Thursday at 10 o'clock and say da 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 da." I couldn't get over that. I was like, I don't like that. I don't want that. I mean, it's nice because I forget shit.
Which one was that, Mike?
It was, I'll look it up on my thing, because I finally just took it off because I was like, I can't get over that part of it. And I do get clipped every now and then on them for, they don't like, because I don't know if you know it or not, but I'm not very politically correct. So yeah, I do have some funny searches I could tell you about when we're not being recorded.
I will keep my finger on the dump button here just in case.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm safe. It's safe. You're safe with me. Don't worry about that. I was trying to find it because but yeah, it's kind of wild. Some of the stuff, but what he did say was, a lot of agents are like, oh, they're gonna, replace jobs. M1 is called M1, Sandy.
Okay.
M1, and it was cool. It worked, but it was $20 a month. I think I don't remember how much it was. I should say that, but like I said, I was like, I only wanted to record the calls I wanted to record. I don't want to record everything I say.
Right.
But not like they're not anyway. But one of the things he said was like, AI is not going to take over the real estate business. AI is not going to replace a realtor. AI is not going to replace the mortgage people. But what it will do is it will, the ones who use it and maximize and capitalize on it will jump way ahead, because you're saving so much time writing newsletters and postcards and generating all this stuff. And you can send it, you can make it do whatever.
That's wild. Exactly what my wife was told at a conference that she was on for AI, but hers was for accountants. It's like, there are going to be less jobs because AI is going to, when it cuts out that time, there's going to be less stuff that needs to be done. If you don't need like my wife has created her own AI bot that does bank recs, and like literally does a full bank rec in like a half a minute, right? So
see, they use the mortgage business now for like when you when you submit a loan, they'll take your bank statements, they fire them into this AI program, and it will. And I've had this happen. It comes back, and because I had a guy, kind of funny, but the guy was going to the weed store every Friday when he got paid, and the a lot of them won't take your card. So they have an ATM machine in there. So he was going to the weed store and buying the same thing. Like he was spending like $38.50 or something. This weird number that he was pulling. Well, it was because probably the fee or whatever, but it was the same amount every Friday. So the AI thing came out and said, boom, he's got this same amount coming out every pay period. We had to verify that it's not there's not a loan. So I had to get the guy to call the guy, and it's got the address on there too on the bank statement. So I typed in the address. I was like, right. And funny, it was like a payday loan and a weed store. So I'm like, which one is it? And so he had to write a letter of explanation, basically saying that go to the vape store and buy the stuff, and then use the ATM machine there. But but that's stuff that old time underwriters usually wouldn't catch. And so, but they fire all that in there, and they do the same with the income now. The income's calculated. A lot of it's calculated with AI. A couple of my lenders I can send your tax returns in, and it'll calculate the income in 30 seconds. I can send a tax return in there, and it goes boom, 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 boom. This is what they make on a Schedule C self-employed borrowers and stuff. Pretty wild.
Yeah. And like you were saying, that's what they were saying. That when they told my wife was like, it's not going to get rid of accountants, but the accountants who are using it are going to move way ahead of all the people who.
That accountant may not have to hire 10 people. He may have to hire 8.
Exactly.
Something like that, but
that accountant's also going to hire the ones that are using AI.
Right.
They're not going to hire the ones that aren't using AI. I mean, it's like basic. I mean, it's different because it's another level, but I mean, it's really no different than when accountants or any of our other professions went from keeping all their records on paper and in big file cabinets, and we all moved to computers. I mean, I sit there and think about like all the stuff my wife does as an accountant, and imagine at the governmental level, and you see those scenes from the 50s, or World War II era, and you have like an entire room, like a warehouse-sized room with nothing but like teachers' desks with women pounding away like on typewriters, typing out letter after letter after letter after letter, and it's like all of that stuff got replaced when you had computers and a dot matrix printer in the 1980s, switchboard operators, all those sorts of things. This is like the next step of that. We're going to get rid of, assistants who sit at a desk and prepare all of the presentation slides. That we're not going to need that anymore. Nobody's going to pay for that anymore. You might have a person on your team who specializes in using the AI, setting up the prompts, getting the results out of the AI that you want. But you're not going to have a person who's going to sit there. I mean, like all the stuff that we do on Canva to make something nice and pretty, that's going to end up being completely automated just by
because I suck at that. I've got Canva. I have this love-hate relationship with Canva because I do like some of the stuff it does is really cool, but
I'm very.
I was trying to make one the other day, and I was just trying to like put a picture in this one spot, and it wouldn't go. Saying all this different colorful language, like what the heck?
I am certainly very happy with I used it to create a template for my thumbnails for my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I'm able to go in there and switch up some pictures real quick, change some text real quick, and bang. And it doesn't take any time at all.
That is where I use ChatGPT. Is I go in and ask them to create thumbnails for me, and some of them are completely hilarious. And some of them, sometimes they're spot on and sometimes they're not. But like when you go in and say, okay, I need this, but I need this person to have a red shirt, something like that. Right. They'll recreate a completely different image. They won't just modify the image that you've got there. Most times they'll recreate the image. So then you've got another option. It's like, oh, I never thought of it like this or whatever and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Canva has one inside Canva that has an AI thing. You can tie them together. Yeah. I've used it to make a logo.
They also have, and I don't know, may not work the same way as the Hey Gen thing you were talking about, but there is I know I watched a YouTube video on it. Inside of Canva, you can create your own AI avatar that will talk and do the whole 9 yards. I don't know. I'd have to go back and figure out how to do it again, but I did watch the video on it. And, I'm going to look at this Hey Gen, but I will also revisit the Canva one to see which one I like best.
Mm-hmm.
Just, why not? Why wouldn't you? There's so
Right.
many options. So, well, that kind of is, leads into the question of the day. We hadn't quite got there yet. So the question of the day that I had today was, what are the biggest challenges you foresee for small businesses in the next 12 months, and how are you preparing for them? So we're obviously preparing for them by using AI. That's part of it.
Right.
Or preparing to use AI. But what are the specific challenges?
I've got to learn to prepare to use AI. I'm preparing to learn to use AI.
That's right. I mean, AI is a big challenge. I mean, it's going to affect all of our industries. It does not matter, I read earlier today that Elon Musk plans to build an entire Roman legion, which is 5,000, of Optimus humanoid robots by the end of this year. And next year he plans to have to do, 10 legions, so that'd be 50,000 robots. By 2027...
Of the Tesla robots?
Yeah, Optimus. By 2027, I promise you, coming across humanoid robots will be a daily occurrence. You know how fast you see Tesla those cyber trucks? When they first came out, we were all like, those are crazy, those are stupid. Next thing you know, you see one a day. You see one a day.
They're fast. Have you driven one?
I've not driven one, but I know they're fast. My brother has.
I drove one. They're
Tesla.
fast.
Yeah,
they're
real fast.
They're wild. But I looked at getting one because I was just because I think they're ugly.
Yes.
In their natural form, but the ones that are wrapped, I've seen some really cool wraps, and they actually look pretty good, and they draw attention. I was thinking for like my business, have my name on there.
Oh yeah.
My face, maybe AI, make me a better face.
Well, it would square your face out a little bit.
Right. That's what maybe I could use. I could use that. Flatten it out.
Yeah.
Draw some hair on there.
They're also coming out with, I think they said they're releasing it next year, Tesla Cab, where it's like completely zero driver.
Well, I think they have those already.
They have those.
Like somewhere in Arizona, Phoenix or something.
We saw them in Austin.
Are they the Tesla version? Because there's another version that's already doing that. And
I don't remember if they were Tesla or the cabs, AI cab, or the remote. Yeah, he said they weren't Tesla.
Yeah, there's a different company that's doing it.
Just doing the automatic driving thing.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you can get in a cab. The DOT's approved that, but the DOT hasn't approved fully self-driving yet for the Tesla. So while you're driving, you have to pay. It says supervise. You have to pay attention. So I was texting. I was like, "Well, this is cool because I can text while I'm driving." And and the truck's like, "You got to pay attention." And it did it 3 times, and then it shut it off. It goes, "We're shutting off this auto driving because you won't listen." And then, my grandson was with me, and he thought it was funny as hell because and it said if you do it 3 more times, you'll be banned from auto driving altogether.
Yep.
And so my grandson was like, "You're not."
Your eyes, then?
I guess, yeah, it's tracking your face, your eyes, and then because my grandson goes, "Well, you better not buy that then because you won't last a week. You'll get kicked off." I was like, "What's the point?"
These Tesla cabs, they don't even have steering wheels. They don't have pedals. All they have in there is the screen, and they have 2 cup holders. That's it. They go for like $30,000, and they're expecting people to buy them and basically send them out during the day as Ubers.
Yeah, they have. Like you can buy your own.
Buy your own and basically start your own cab company as an Uber company, and they've got having an Uber app for the Tesla cars.
Texas has
Uber to be free Tesla. And they have buses too.
Texas has commercial vehicles right now. Supposedly they're on the road,
Yep.
driverless.
Yeah, the semis, driverless semis,
Yeah,
doing long hauls from like Houston to Dallas.
Yep.
I mean, dude, it is a brand new world. And I'm telling you right now, I want one of those robots. I want one of those robots to mow my yard, to wash my dishes, vacuum,
yeah.
dust. I need them to dust.
You need
Like
Rosie.
yeah.
Wasn't that her name?
Rosie, yeah, on the Jetsons.
Rosie's my vacuum, but if I get one of those Tesla robots, I'm gonna have to rename Rosie to something else because my big robot's gonna be named Rosie. 'Cause it will be Rosie. I expect it to like open up its chest and just shoot breakfast out right, you know. And I'm gonna give it a prompt. I'm gonna like go through like all the old Jetsons shows and like have it like watch the Jetsons show so it can pick up Rosie's personality because Rosie was a smartass, and I appreciate that. You
Until
know?
that thing takes over.
Yeah, I've seen our robot. I know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bionic leg, kind of like Will Smith had a bionic arm. So it's not really bionic, but it's made of titanium. So, maybe I can use that somehow to kill an AI robot that's gone rogue.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy one right up when they first come off. It's probably $30,000 or something to buy one brand new.
Yeah, that's what they're projecting them to is $30,000, and they're like, that's a car payment.
Wait about 2 years.
Our niece, her husband works for Tesla, and he says you don't buy first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much because the technology is changing and advancing, and bugs to work out and things like that. He said, don't ever buy the first year.
That was true for Corvettes forever. Anytime you get a model change, don't buy that year. Wait till next year.
Any cars. I remember Blue Springs, whatever it is, it's where the McCarthy Hyundai store is up there on Outer Road.
Yep.
Back when the PT Cruiser first came out, we went up there because they were all in the magazines, right? They were all in all the Auto Trend and all the stuff. The design was off the chart. They had them up in there, and they were charging $10,000 over sticker for a PT Cruiser. We went in. I went there with a buddy of mine just to look at him, and they wouldn't even let him drive it. They wouldn't let him drive. They had it up in the showroom where they had like this brand new BMW and brand new Jag and all this stuff, all their high-end stuff, and a PT Cruiser in the thing. You could look at it, but it was $10,000 over sticker, non-negotiable, and they wouldn't even let you drive it until you sat down and negotiated a price and got credit approved or got whatever.
Wow.
And I was laughing. I go, dude, wait 6 months to be giving these things away.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's ridiculous.
On a neon frame.
Right.
It was a Dodge Neon with a better body.
It was a cool design when it came out, but concept, but like these guys were off. And I was like, I just wish I could have found somebody who I knew that paid $10,000 over sticker for a freaking PT Loser Cruiser.
Now the Fowler that they came out with, was badass.
Those are cool.
That car was bad.
Those still bring about 30, 35 grand.
Oh yeah,
like you can still get one.
Cheap. It's kind of like a Dodge Viper. They don't make those anymore either, and they're expensive. They make Corvette prices look dumb.
Right.
We're talking cars. That's my wheelhouse right there. So, what other challenges do we foresee? Because I think maybe a month ago we would have thought that the economy is being crazy because of Liberation Day and all of that stuff, but I think that's kind of subsided, don't you?
Yeah, the evidence wasn't there to match the hype.
Yeah.
So once again, so like I'll tell you one of the biggest challenges for me is always for us, and probably Sandy can probably relate. It's always deal flow. It's always constant. Like you have to try to figure out where your leads are going to come from, your next leads are going to come from, because in our business, it's like I said earlier, it's feast or famine. So if you have to market constantly, and that's where I think AI is going to help me out, is if you can program all that stuff to do all that for me, where I don't have to go and stop and go, oh, I gotta my newsletter goes out every month. It's like I gotta write my newsletter, and I mean I should be able to have it generate them for the freaking year,
Right.
and so I mean that's always the biggest challenge for me. And like I said, AI is one of the things I do in my first time home buyer seminars I've been doing. They're generating some business, and that's another thing. Like the Facebook pixels have to figure out your ideal audience and all that crap. But and I'm steady getting people signed up for them to come. So I'm hoping we'll turn the corner on that pretty soon. I'll do my fourth one this week, tomorrow actually, and I think I got one application out of all of that so far. But the first two were we didn't have the audience targeted in. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is you're playing the long game.
Right.
You're hoping to get something quick, but yeah.
Which I'm not very good at. Patience is not one of my strong suits.
Now I've read a lot of things as it relates to the travel industry that like there's been huge drop-offs in particularly international travel going all directions. Like Canadians have stopped coming to America. Americans have stopped leaving the country and going to Europe or going to Canada.
I stopped that a long time ago.
Everybody still wants to go to the Caribbean. It doesn't matter. So,
right.
Canadians are skipping America and going to the Caribbean. Americans are still going to the Caribbean. Europeans are skipping America and going to the Caribbean. Right? So everybody loves them some Caribbean jerk. But
yeah. Bless you.
I mean, and I've actually gotten because I started doing all these Amtrak leads. They get on the phone with me and they're like, "I want to travel in America."
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, demand hasn't fallen off. It's just been redirected.
Yeah.
To other things. I would expect it's probably going to be the same in most of these markets, yours as well. That it's not necessarily that demand's going to go away, but it's going to shift in a way that you need to be prepared for it, just so you can capture it when it does shift.
Right. I've been for a long time. I haven't had any desire to leave the country, but that's many years. I've left the country, gone to Canada a few times.
I can't say that.
Yeah, Sandy's like, I'm going to Luxembourg.
Yeah, Sandy's like, I'm a Luxembourgian. Is that what? I don't know if that's what they call them. Are they Luxembourgian?
Luxembourganese.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just ready to go on a vacation with this back issue. I really couldn't vacate. I mean, I couldn't
plan it or anything.
Vacation, so I'm just excited about being able to get out and do some stuff this year. So.
I'm going to Hawaii next week.
You're going to Hawaii, Mike?
Yeah.
Where?
Kauai.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. I my 30 days till sailing is today.
Yeah.
So,
where are you going?
30 days from now, we leave Los Angeles and we head to Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta on a 7-day cruise. So it's me and the wife and the boy, both of my girls and their boyfriend and girlfriend, and my aunt and her new boyfriend, my brother,
Dang.
my brother's
half the boat.
family. Yeah, we got 17 people. I counted it up the other day. 17 people in 7 rooms. And you know what really sucks? If I would have had one more room, I would have
got a free one.
Yep. and I'm only supposed to.
You called me. I would have come.
I was only supposed to need.
I'll take that free room.
People, right? I'm supposed to only need 16 people, and I have 17. But because the extra people are my boy, which is the third, and Dustin's 2 kids, which are the thirds and fourths. Thirds and fourths don't count. Your free room.
So, in a room?
Yeah, you basically you got to do 8 rooms, 16 people. And I was even going to make my son stay with my uncle if he would have come along, but my uncle decided. Because EJ would have told me he didn't like, to hell with that, Dad. I'm staying with Mom. You can go stay with your stinky uncle. I'm like, hey, my uncle doesn't stink. He's a lot of things. He doesn't stink. Yeah. David was gonna. He said he really wanted to go, but he ended up having to have eye surgery, and it all worked out. His eyes are doing great, but like right in the middle of his cruise when he was scheduled to have one of his follow-up appointments. So
Yeah.
he won't be traveling with us this year. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a really pretty cool family style trip. So.
Yeah. Well, I've got one of my foreign exchange students from when I was in high school lives down in Brazil,
Right.
very close to where the Chiefs are going to be playing.
There you go.
And I'm like, oh, but I think that's probably a little too far for us for this year.
I would love to go check out South America and Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go to Belize.
Belize, yeah, I've heard Belize is fantastic. Matter of fact, I've got a client who's in Belize right now. She comes home like maybe it was yesterday. Well, yeah, yesterday or today, she comes home. I'm supposed to call her like tomorrow to check how the trip went. But yeah, Belize would be pretty cool. Belize would definitely be pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I know you don't like to leave the country, Mike, but I love going to Mexico and I love going to the Caribbean. It's just,
I don't go to Mexico.
I find it as an extension of the states for the most part. Yeah.
I'll go a few places in Mexico. I'm a little more leery on that. I'm going to spend more in Canada, but
I've been up there a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Different. Well, I've been to like Saskatchewan a few times, and Nova Scotia. I really like Nova Scotia. Like it's a beautiful point, and the people are amazing there.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Newfoundland. It's what?
My wife hates cold, so me going to Canada.
Nova Scotia wasn't cold. Like it wasn't bad. It was beautiful. And you go to
spring or summer.
There's spring and summer is normal. Like I was there a couple times. It's cold. It's cold in the wintertime. And I went out to Newfoundland. I left there and went to Newfoundland on a ferry.
That's where I really want to go.
That's probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. There it's cold, and the guy told me you should come back in the summer. And I said, when is that? And he's like, it's 2 weeks in July. Like depends on the 2 weeks, but it's an amazing place. And I drove from one end to the other, or it's not really, but the part of it's just got one highway that goes all the way from when you get off on the port. There's a ferry that runs from Nova Scotia out there, and you get on and you drive all the way to the other end. But there's like 1,000 moose out there, and but you come around I guess it's the east side of it. They've got Iceberg Alley, that icebergs come through there. You see whales and seals, all the stuff on there. It's an amazing place. I've been out there like 4 times, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I wanted to take the wife on an Alaskan cruise, and she's like very much against.
I would do an Alaska cruise too. I've heard that they're pretty awesome, and you can go when it's not like
that's on my
really
short
cold.
list. Yeah.
Well, you can only go when it's not really cold. They don't even do them like they only go from like June to maybe the last couple weeks in May, and they're done by the second week.
I had a friend that went, and she said like they went through about 3 seasons during that week they were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do that just because it's super cool. But
yeah, that was my brother's favorite cruise. My brother Jason, his favorite cruise was doing that Alaskan cruise.
And they have excursions. You can go out on. A friend of mine went on one, and they said they were out like in a raft, and the whale just swam right underneath them.
See,
she said that was scary.
Yeah, dude, I can't. Yeah, dude.
Hawaii.
What's that?
We were whale watching in Hawaii, and we had the whale go right underneath us. So it was pretty cool. And Eric, just to let you know that today it's 61 in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Tomorrow it's going to be 69. Friday it will be 65. So
Yeah, see?
Not bad. It'll be warmer. It'll be warmer as you get more into July. It's only May right now. But I bet it doesn't get much above 82 ever.
In Nova Scotia, it's pretty nice. Like I said, it's right on a um, you go down there and you go to they've got a cool port there, with all the ships and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, and then like you can hop on the ferry and go overnight to Newfoundland,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a big old boat too. It's really cool.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I'm for it, but getting my wife to go north on a vacation.
just tell her,
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell
give
her.
her a surprise. This is what we're gonna do.
Well, that
Mike's not met my wife, Sandy.
that Princess cruise we took up the eastern seaboard, we went in September, the end of September, and it wasn't bad. And we went up to just kind of touched into Canada. We didn't get as far as I wanted to go, but the weather was fine there then too. It wasn't bad at all.
They have some excellent rail trips through the Canadian Rockies too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to do that too.
Which, that would be pretty cool. I just quoted one last night.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty nice. They got and all of those rail vacations, they include the excursions.
Yeah.
If you have sleeping cabins, they include the meals on the train. Yeah, they're pretty freaking cool. And then there's some of those Alaskan cruises.
Mm-hmm.
They have Alaskan, what they call cruise tours, where you do the cruise, you get all the way up to wherever you're going to go, and then you hop off, and then you do a rail segment.
Yeah.
And they take you deep inland.
I know Princess does that. I don't know which other ones do that for
Celebrity
sure.
and Royal Caribbean definitely do.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of the other ones. I would suspect. I mean, you're talking Alaska. You're talking Holland America. They're really well known for doing Alaskan cruises, so I would bet they do it too. So, all right, guys. Well, we're getting towards the end of our hour. Kind of covered all the things. Hey, the Royals are good.
Yes, they are.
Royals are good. They're fun. So I don't know if you've got your FanDuel subscription, but they're playing good baseball, so that's fun to watch. Sandy may not be aware. My new website is done, released on the web. So check that out.
What's it called? Eric's
Livin
Cruises.
LivinLifeNStyle.com, bro. What I'm doing. Trying anyway.
Very good. Very good.
So anyway, why don't we go ahead? Like I said, we're about down to 10 minutes. So if you guys have the last things you would like to plug for your company before we hop off here, we can get that wrapped up. And
Sandy, you go first. Ladies first.
Okay, Sandy Reed with Chartwell Realty, and as Mike will tell you, the market is still strong. The sky is not falling. We're still far below the foreclosure numbers of historical average foreclosure numbers. So even these people who are unfortunately losing their jobs and things like that most likely should have enough equity if they had to sell that they'd never have to get into a foreclosure situation. And hopefully they don't have to. But yeah, so I mean, buying and selling, it's happening a lot.
And
still going.
Talking about the people who lost their jobs, my buddy, he works in employment. He's like he's an executive for a headhunting company, and he's like, dude, hiring is on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're without a job, you should be able to get one.
Yeah.
In like no time flat. And maybe not even have to worry about like missing any payments on your house or mortgage.
Hopefully they streamline a bunch of those, because the last time I looked for a job, like they make the process so tedious that for people it's so frustrating.
Oh man, I tried looking for a job before I started this travel agency business, and I immediately found out that I no longer fit in the corporate world.
When they go into a board, when they pull you in there, they've got like 5 of them on the thing, and they're like, "Tell us the time when you made a really hard decision." Like
Every single day getting out of bed.
coming in here, like
Yeah.
so. I actually have a lender, United Wholesale Mortgage, that we use. That's the biggest lender in the country, and they have 2 million square feet under their roof up in Pontiac, Michigan, and they have 8 or 9,000 employees. And when you
Wow.
go in there, like it is massive. It's an old GM plant. And when you go in there, they have rows of desks facing each other. They're not cubicles. They don't have walls in between them. So they're sitting side by side. They have 2 monitors and everything on their thing, but they're not facing the guy in front of them, and they're 100 feet long, and they have, I mean, just thousands. You could stand in one spot and you could see 1,000 people. And like, to me, we were going through it. I was like, this would be like a living hell for me. Like I wouldn't make it to lunchtime.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so wild. And
Call center mentality.
it's just their underwriting department, their verification department, where they verify employment, is bigger than some companies, some entire companies, because they have so many people there. And it's just they got stores in there, they got Dunkin' Donuts in there, they've got, I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal. I've been up there about 3 or 4 times, but for me, the joke is, because I was like, I wouldn't last a day here. Like I would die. Like it's just all the stuff, but so people thrive in that. And those people are not me.
No.
I'd like to think that I could make it back in the radio industry and corporate radio, but then I see like some of my old radio host buddies that are on Facebook and see what they post, and I'm like, yeah, no, you guys don't want to.
But don't they, like, so many of those they're all programmed now, and they don't even,
Yeah,
so many of those guys work from home. They got a studio in their basement because they don't even have to go in and do anything anymore.
Hashtag goals.
Yes, right. That'd be cool. But with Slacker, before old Slacker died, he was on all day. Every time he turned on the radio, like he was like the only one.
Oh yeah.
There's hardly anybody else on the whole radio station.
If you listen to satellite radio, those guys are on like 2 or 3 stations throughout the day. They get in, they clock in whenever they want to put their show together. Yep. They do like 4 shows right in a row. It takes them about 3 or 4 hours, and they just upload the files.
It's funny too, because there used to be a guy on KY 102 or whatever, and he was on whatever it was, Chuck Nasty, right? Remember the Nasty Man. Mm-hmm. So one day I was listening to another station, and his name is Charles whatever, but he's using this Charles whatever. He's like the weather guy.
Oh yeah,
he's traffic guy.
He does traffic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Hey, that's the same dude." I was like, "One day," I remember I thought, I was like, "What the heck?" But anyway, all right, bro. So I'm Mike from Summit Lending. I do have I'm doing bi-weekly Zoom webinars for first-time home buyers. Go to mikeshomeschool.com and you can sign up for it if you want. You'll be muted, so don't try to get on there and pull any shenanigans, Mr. Teeman. I have a Eric blocker on. But I'm a mortgage broker. We do tons of stuff for first-time home buyers, and we're licensed. Our company's licensed in I think about 26 states now. But we've got 70 some odd loan officers all around the country, and can get stuff done. Do it fast, do it good.
Cool.
Fantastic. And I'm Eric Teeman, Livin Life N Style Travel. Hey, I am going to be starting to hire travel agents. I've actually done a couple of interviews over the last couple of weeks to add some travel agents to my team, because I have Amtrak leads coming out my ears. So if anybody out there is looking for a sales position or knows somebody who would like a sales position, you can work from home or wherever you're at. You can even work on a cruise ship, and I can tell you how to get a free cruise. Can't I, Sandy?
Yes.
There you go. So, but if you're just looking for travel, I'm still here to help you with that. 816-744-1405 and livinlifenstyle.com. All right, guys. Well, Business Roundtable made the cut as one of the shows I'm keeping.
Wow.
So we will be around.
One of the two.
One of the two. That's right. Well, there's going to be a third. There's going to be a third. That's going to be new. But yeah, I'm keeping two of the shows that we're going. Still doing the Avoya top 10 travel deals of the week on Mondays. And we will be back here on Wednesday at noon for the Livin Life N Style Business Roundtable. So, guys, I appreciate you. Sandy, I'm glad you're feeling better. Mike, as always, be good and have a great week, man.
See you, man. See you, Sandy.
Thank you, guys.